If you're sick of being exposed to Hamilton's khaki fuel watches, I have something different for you today. In my previous video, I recently researched about Hamilton's histories of its vintage watches and its modern reiterations. I intentionally did not mention anything about this watch because I feel it deserves a video on its own. This watch is Hamilton's Intra-Matic Chronograph H from the American Classic lineup, and it was released in March 2021. Hamilton has been a respectable brand since 1892, and this watch is a testament to their dedication to craftsmanship and attention to detail. As with many of Hamilton's watches, this one draws inspiration from their vintage models, particularly their first chronographs, the Chronograph A and Chronograph B in 1968. The Chronograph A features what one might call a panda watch because, oh well, get it? From this image, you can see that Hamilton kept most of the design elements from the hour hands to the hour markers. The specs. Now let's get the basics out of the way. This watch has a case size of 40mm with a lug width of 20mm, a slightly longer lug-to-lug of 49mm, a pretty thick watch of 14.3mm, a water resistance of 100 meters, and then you have a box-shaped sapphire crystals sitting on top. And an ETA-made movement H51 powers the watch. This movement is made by ETA exclusively for Hamilton. One of the best selling points about this movement or watch is its 60-hour power reserve. As this is a hand-wound movement, it is slightly thinner compared to this automatic counterpart, but honestly, when you put it side by side, in terms of size, it doesn't really make any difference, making the choice of picking one of these so difficult. The movement itself is also aesthetically pleasing with its intricate mechanism and detailing. However, unfortunately, Hamilton opted for a closed case back of this watch, which means you can't view the movement from the back of the watch. But then again, this decision was made so that you can achieve the 100 meters of water resistance. And well, after all, it's a chronograph watch, so I guess it's okay. 100 meters is pretty good. If I were to pinpoint one sole reason why we bought this watch, it would be the looks. I mean, this watch just checks all those boxes. Classy? Check. Vintage? Check. Timeless? Check. Looks expensive? Check. Handsome looking watch? Check. And you know what? The most important thing is it makes the wearer look even more handsome. The sub-dials, colors, text and logos are just so well balanced, making it a truly good looking watch. I especially like the vintage logo being used here instead of their modern logo, as well as the signed crown. I think it's just really cool. Contributing to its vintage look are these patina looking lume and the off-white color of the dial. Yes, it's white, but when you compare the auto version and the mechanical version, you will notice the difference. You'll notice that the mechanical one is slightly less white. So yeah, it looks kind of like off-white. Another thing that brings the whole vintage look to home is the decision to keep the tachymeter scale the same color as the central dial, rather than making it black like the auto version here. Although I have to admit that the auto version is really cool as well. It actually looks very modern. Another thing I now only realize is that this watch gives a really nice 3D perception thanks to the box-shaped sapphire crystal that makes the tachymeter scale look somewhat distorted and as if it curves inwards. I hope you can see from this footage. Initially, I also didn't understand what a box-shaped sapphire crystal is. After I researched, here's a short comparison video. What I have here is a Timex M79 watch which has a dome crystal. Now if you were to put it side to side with this Hamilton, you will not see any difference. However, if you view it from a certain angle, you can see that yes, both crystals bulge out, meaning they are raised above the bezels. But here's the difference. The Timex is curving upwards, while this Hamilton simply raises up straight without any curvature. So yes, this minor difference of shape somehow will change the feel and the look of the watch. And I think it's pretty cool that they use this box-shaped sapphire crystal on this watch. This watch is a highly polished all around, making it feel like a scratch magnet. However, I can't imagine it having it otherwise, because I feel it's better to fully commit to something rather than doing something half-assed. In this case, we can see that Hamilton went all the way vintage with this. Initially, I was a little bit worried that the case back is also very highly polished. I was so afraid to scratch the watch, but then I realized, thanks to the buckle and mechanism of the bracelet, whenever I put it on the table, I can just prop it up like this. In terms of wearability and comfort, sadly, I will have to admit that it fits a man's wrist better. I know, sad to admit, but I have to be honest. But then don't let that stop you, okay? Because sometimes I wear it too. I just don't care. When I wore it, sometimes it does look a little bit out of place, especially with the mesh bracelet on. This bracelet makes the watch bulkier than it needs to be, but it still works. And also, I feel this mesh bracelet is one of the best quality mesh bracelets out there. It's this pushes, the tactile feeling, it just feels so good. It's a really good quality bracelet. This watch has a good weight to it, making it feel substantial when worn, and also the chrono pushes has this really good and tactile. I hope you can hear it. Yeah, so this thing is very, very cool. And the winding, it feels really satisfying. If I really had to nitpick, it's so difficult for me to pull the crown out. I often I will just break my nail or hurt my nail. Eventually, I always ask my husband to help me out. I mean, I don't know. If you guys got any tips, leave down the comments, okay? I need help. Now let's discuss about the price. We got this watch probably more than 1 year ago back in Malaysia from its retail distributors. We actually got this at a very, very good discount rate. We got it for probably about 6,000 ringgit, which comes about USD 1,004. But the thing is, currently I checked 2,200 USD, which I was shocked. It's pretty expensive. I mean, even after discount, it's gonna be like 7,000 ringgit. Yeah, I'm not sure, is it because of the weak ringgit currency? But yeah, something to take note of. By no means that 6,000 ringgit is a little money for us. It is still a large sum of money. I mean, this is like our most expensive watch, and it is still very expensive to us. So I wouldn't call this watch exactly an affordable watch, but I would say it's pretty worth the money. That's all guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Leave down your comments below, and if you like this video, press like, hit the like button. Help me. If you guys are interested in Hamilton's history and its heritage, I recently made a video out of it. It'll be somewhere here. Click it.